Ted Cruz joins me now. That was not a very interesting appearance at the fast food joint. Not what I'd call Chick-fil-A energy, Senator.
Now, look, I got to say it was pitiful, but, you know, it speaks volumes. The Biden record is a train wreck. The American people are doing much worse after 3.5 years of Bidenomics and inflation and open borders and crime, not to mention 2 wars and the disaster Biden's brought in. And you contrast it. When we had Donald Trump, when we had a Republican House, when we had a Republican Senate, we had the economy was booming, we had peace and prosperity, people's lives were better. And you're right, this entire campaign, Trump's campaign is about your life was better because our policies make sense for you and your family. Biden's campaign is all about, he says Donald Trump is the devil. And that's a difference. And it's a difference we're seeing in races all across the country. Look, in my race in Texas, I've got a left-wing Democrat who can't run on Biden's record. He doesn't run on the open border that he and Biden supports. He doesn't run on inflation or crime. He just argues that Trump's the devil and I'm the devil. That's all they have to say. And instead, what campaigns should be about is actually fighting for people's lives and policies that work.
The inflation and the border are just destroying the working class Americans. Does Biden see that coming? Because this, to me, just looks like a landslide.
No, he doesn't see it coming at all. He's out of touch. Listen, Joe Biden is down in his basement. He's hidden. He doesn't interact with ordinary people. Look, when Biden tried to even reference bodega, he couldn't say the word bodega right. He called it a bodega. I mean, you look at how this is not a man who is dealing with the people, who understands the working class. The Democrat Party's abandoned the working class. They've abandoned the blue collar. And his strategy is hide in the basement, spend lots of money and just attack Trump. And it's a strategy we're seeing across the country. That's how Democrat candidates run. My opponent, Colin Allred, this left-winger, is being funded with millions and millions of dollars from George Soros, from Chuck Schumer. They're flooding cash into Texas because they want to take me out, but he doesn't talk to reporters. He hides in his basement, I guess along with Joe Biden, doesn't talk about his record, just spends money, and they think they can fool the American people. But just like millions of people are supporting Trump and contributing to his campaign, we're seeing people all over America going to tedcruz.org and supporting my campaign because they're not going to get let left-wing Democrats just flood cash with lies and attacks, and that's their game plan.
Yeah, I mean, it is lies, it's hoaxes, and then the moments he does interact with regular Americans at a bodega or Chick-fil-A, it totally obliterates all of their lies. He's going to be pinned down in Manhattan for quite some time. Do you have any other suggested campaign stops? I mean, he could go to Madison Square Garden. He could go to Central Park, maybe feed the birds. What would you do if you were Donald Trump on Wednesdays or after the court is out of session?
Look, I think the beauty of stopping at the bodega is it highlights real people's lives that were better under Trump than they've been under Biden. The classic question in any election is, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And unless you are a big tech billionaire or a drug cartel lord, in which cases the answer is yes, you're better off under Biden, and you ought to vote for Biden. If you're a drug lord, Biden's your guy. Listen, today in the Senate, we had what was supposed to be the impeachment trial of Alejandro Mayorkas. Every single Senate Democrat voted to throw the case out, not to hear any evidence. They don't want to hear about the people who are suffering with our open borders. They don't want to hear about the people who are dying. They don't want to hear about the children being abused. They don't want to hear about the women being raped. They don't want to hear about the terrorists coming into this country or the criminals who are murdering Americans every week. They don't want to hear about any of it. And every single Democrat, all of them, that means John Tester in Montana, voted to hear no evidence. He doesn't want to know about the failures of the Democrats' open borders. That means Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, Sherrod Brown in Ohio, Jackie Rosen in Nevada. Every one of these Democrats running right now, they want to hide from the issues. They don't want to talk about them at all. They didn't want to listen to any of the evidence because they don't care about the people who are suffering. No, they don't care about the people in the bodegas who are facing crime. Instead, they just want to say Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. That's their whole message.
It sure is. I mean, if I were Trump, I'd go to a grocery store, not a Whole Foods, just a regular grocery store.
Yeah.
Maybe I catch a Rangers game. after court's out of session. Who knows? But I mean, a lot to do here. Ted Cruz, I'm sure you're staying busy down in Texas. Good luck down there.
Thank you, Jesse.